Hi guys, this is your Explain Everything video. I couldn't quite figure out how to upload it onto YouTube, so you are just going to watch it through my Google Drive. Each step. Think of a time. Hi students, this will be the Explain Everything video I mentioned in my introductory video. Here I will be explaining our first concept of fractions and what they are by drawing examples, showing pictures, and talking you through each step. Think of a time you have ever had to share something. Have you ever had to share a pizza with someone in your family? How about an apple or M&Ms? So let's begin with what a fraction looks like. Here are different examples of common fractions you might see. Do you recognize these numbers? These are fractions. Fractions are numbers that can be placed on a number line, multiplied, divided, added, and subtracted, just like the numbers you are already familiar with. We will learn what fractions are by creating a tasty treat. Let's first define what a fraction is. Type it out so you can see it and you can write it down if you need to remember, which I highly recommend doing. So a fraction is part of a whole. In other words, it is part of something bigger. There are two parts to a fraction. There is the numerator, which is the top number, and the denominator, which is the bottom number. So once again, the numerator is a top number, and the denominator is the bottom number. The numerator tells us how many pieces were used from the whole, while the denominator tells us how many pieces in total is in the whole. So I will go ahead and write those definitions for you to write down and use. So, numerator tells us how many pieces were used from the whole, and denominator tells us how many pieces in total is in the whole. This will make more sense in just a second as you continue watching the video. So right now, go ahead and write these definitions down to help you use in future references. Here you can see that I have a rectangle divided into 7 equal parts. It's a little rough because I had to hand draw it, but they are supposed to be 7 equal parts. Now that I have shaded in 4 pieces, you can see that I have colored in 4 parts out of the whole rectangle. This fraction I have just demonstrated right here is equal to 4 sevenths. Do you see it? This is because I have shaded in 4 parts out of the 7 total, which is the whole. Now, let's start an example that you might be familiar with, using pizza. Sorry, this pizza is kind of poorly drawn, but we'll just go with it. This pizza right here is our whole amount. Oop, I don't know what happened there. So whole pizza is our whole amount. So let's cut the pizza into 4 equal pieces. So with one cut, I have divided the pizza into 2 equal parts. Then, drawing another line, I have divided the pizza into 4 equal parts. Now I'm going to select one of these parts. The selected part is shown by my shading. So the question is, what fraction of the whole is the part that I have shaded in black? Well, it is 1 out of the 4 equal parts, right? I have shaded in 1 out of the 1, 2, 3, 4 equal parts. So we will write this as a fraction. This is 1 piece out of the 4 equal parts. So this fraction is 1/4. You can think of this as 1 out of 4 equal parts. Next, we will pretend that we have a chocolate bar. Let's now ask ourselves how we could represent 1/8. So let's write that fraction first. Well, we could divide this whole chocolate bar, in this case, into 8 equal parts. So let's do that. These may not be very even because it's kind of hard to draw in here, but they're supposed to be 8 equal parts. Oops, that one went way too far. Okay, so now you can see we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 equal parts. So now that I have those 8 equal parts, I'm going to shade exactly one of them. Let's do that in red. It's going to go, there it goes. And this will represent 1/8. The part that I'm shading in red represents 1/8 of the whole. Now, with a few more examples that I've already drawn, divided, and shaded, I want you to try and write down the fraction that the white shaded parts represent out of the whole shape. So go ahead and pause this video and try them on your own before you complete the Google Doc activity. Now, hopefully you have hit pause and are not listening to this without trying to figure out the other ones first. I will tell you what they actually are. So as you can see, the first shape is 1/3. This is because the white part has shaded 1/3 of the whole. There is one shaded part out of the 3 total parts. The middle shape has a fraction 3/5. There are 3 parts shaded out of the whole 5 parts. And the last shape represents 1/4. This is because the red shaded, or not red, sorry, white, the white shaded part represents 1 part out of the total 4 parts. Before moving on to my next video, I want you to recall the basic definition of a fraction. A fraction is written as part over the whole amount.